Hi, my name is Simon Craven, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Form I-129. Form I-129 is a petition for a non-immigrant worker, and it is a form commonly used to request certain work visas in the United States. This includes visas such as the H-1B, the O-1, or sometimes the TN visa for work. The form consists of multiple pages to gather information about the petitioner, that is the individual or company who is requesting or sponsoring the individual for, and information about the individual or individuals applying as beneficiaries. Start here on page 1, where we have information about the petitioner, that is the person filing the request, or individual, organization, company that is petitioning for the beneficiary in the visa classification. Here they will list their contact information, including the mailing address. It is important to have an accurate mailing address where you receive mail, because that is how USCIS will contact you about your case. Find additional information about the petitioner here at the end of part 1, and then in part 2, information about the specific petition itself. This is where you indicate the kind of visa you want. Number 1, the requested non-immigrant classification, such as H-1B or L-1, as well as the basis for the classification, including whether it's new employment, a change in existing employment, or existing employment that hasn't changed and is just seeking an extension. Number 4, you will indicate how you want the visa to be processed, that is, continue it without change the visa, or notify them so that they can be admitted, for example, abroad with a new visa classification. Finally, in part 3, we get into information about the beneficiary, that is the individual who will be applying for the visa or changing their status within the United States, including their name and other biographical information. Part 3 continues with information about the beneficiary, including information about their U.S. address and entry if they are currently in the United States. In part 4, you will indicate if consular processing is needed, where that should take place. Furthermore, in part 4, on page 4, it would indicate the beneficiary's foreign address, as well as additional background questions about their passport validity, family members, and whether they have prior immigration filings on their behalf. Moving on to part 5, on page 5, we have information about the job. Now, this is where you would indicate, for example, the job title, where the job will be performed, and if an LCA or ETA form is required, what that number would be. Further, we'll include additional questions which have to do with specific visa types and the regulations that control work into those visas. You would indicate the wages and any other compensation, as well as the dates of intended employment on this page. Finally, at the bottom of page 5, you'll include additional information about the company or organization filing the request. When we get to part 6, this is the final certification regarding the release of controlled technologies, which has to do with complex regulations regarding technological exports and the licensing thereof. Finally, in part 7, a certification from the employer regarding the accuracy and completeness of the information submitted with the request. At the next part 8, if you have an additional individual preparing the form, you would indicate their information here, such as an attorney. And finally, an addendum pages where you could put additional information about the page that did not fit in the original form. After this, starting on page 9, there will be additional classification supplements that are specific to each visa type. These only need to be completed if you are applying for the visa types that are specified in these supplements. This includes E1, E2, NAFTA, H1B, H2B, so on and so forth, and you required classification supplement based on your visa type. As you can see, there are a lot of different parts to the Form I-129 and lots of information about the petitioner and the beneficiary that needs to be included. Knowing how to properly complete this form will be essential to making sure you can have a successful visa application. I hope this walkthrough has been helpful, and I wish you the best of luck on your visa journey.